In this video, I'm going to show you how I enabled my 2024 FXT 1000 to lock the rear differential without actually going into four-wheel drive. And I did it with this. It's just a small pigtail consisting of 3 female spade terminals and 1 male spade terminal, all daisy chained together. As you can see, with the key on and the Mule and two-wheel drive, the diff lock actually won't engage. If you flip it into four-wheel drive, you can then engage the differential lock on the rear end. We're going to start by pulling out the differential lock switch and then removing the switch from the connector block. You're going to be looking for the 2 spade terminals in the second row from the bottom. Those are your 2 hots. Those wire colors should be brown blue and brown yellow. You're going to have to pry up the locking tabs on the spade connectors to be able to slide them out the back. I've got a little tool for this, but you can use a large paper clip or a very small flathead screwdriver. Once the tab is released, it'll pull right out of the back. We're going to move that up to the 3rd row just above where it was before. Once that's in, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Putting those terminals back in the connector block keeps them safe from any shorts and allows you to easily return them to the original configuration if need be. Let's talk a little bit about spade terminals. This is a pretty standard female spade terminal. Its male counterpart sits in the bottom of that connector and is held in place by the rolled over ends. Pretty much the only difference between this one and one that you would buy at any auto part or hardware store is this one has a locking tab on the bottom. These types of connectors will not work for this project. These are the connectors that are used. They do not have curled sides, and their male counterparts are held at the top of the connector instead of the bottom. They do also have locking tabs and can be fairly easily found on Amazon. This is the point in the video where I realized it probably wasn't a good idea to be working on this with the power on. Now we're going to take our pigtail and take the 2 spade terminals connected to the yellow wire and insert them in the 2 vacated slots in the switch block. If they don't lock in place, you can take a small screwdriver and pry up the locking tabs a little bit. Now we have the 2 new terminals occupying the 2nd row of that block connector. Go ahead and pull the 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive switch out from the dash and disconnect the switch from the connector block. The lower right-hand terminal is connected to the brown blue wire that is the 12-volt positive feed for the 4-wheel drive and the rear differential lock. We are going to remove that terminal from the switch block. We are going to feed the rest of the pigtail back into the dash behind the differential switch and back out of the dash through the hole for the two-wheel four-wheel drive switch. Then we're going to take the one remaining female spade terminal and insert it in the lower right-hand slot on that switch block. Then the male spade connector gets connected to the brown-blue wire we just vacated from that switch block. Now it's time to put the switches back on the switch blocks and slide them back into the dash. We are done. And now the differential lock can be engaged regardless of whether or not the four-wheel drive is engaged. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something. Good day and God bless.